Hola, te doy la más cordial bienvenida a la sesión de metal número 79. Soy Ceci Montero y te saludo con mucho gusto. Gracias por ver y escuchar las entrevistas y reseñas. También me da mucho gusto que interactúes en mis redes. Gracias por tu interés. Si aún no me sigues, me encuentras en las redes principales como @CeciOn Las mejores bandas de metal las encuentras en tu sesión de metal. En esta plática tengo el honor de platicar con un gran guitarrista que ha conquistado a miles de fanáticos por sus habilidades musicales. Él fue integrante de Obscura, es una pieza fundamental en Obsidium y ahora se encuentra promocionando su proyecto solista. Le doy la más cordial bienvenida a Rafael Trujillo. Hola Rafa, ¿cómo estás? Bienvenido.
Hola, gracias, estoy bien. Gracias por invitarme.
No, gracias a ti por estar en el show. Bueno, Rafa, eres un guitarrista que ha tenido una formación desde temprana edad, pero además tienes una riqueza multicultural por tus raíces y por tu lugar de nacimiento. ¿Cómo ha sido tu evolución hasta ahora? ¿Quién es Rafael Trujillo?
Okay, so I think I'm gonna do this in English if it's fine for everybody. First of all, my father is from Mexico City. I grew up multilingual, so in Europe. My mother is from Austria, so I grew up in Europe, and there is where it started everything. I went to a musical school where they taught me already, like in a very early age, ear training and different instruments. I tried out so many different instruments, from like drums to obviously guitar, acoustic guitar, classical guitar, and then also a lot of piano. And that's how everything started. And in this area, I also got to know, in the area of Salzburg, where I grew up, I got to know Sebastian Lanzer, an amazing drummer. He did drums for Obscura before me already, and he brought me into some different bands as well back then, and that's how my musical career started.
Estamos viendo de fondo tu primer sencillo como solista, Wishes and Dreams. Como ya nos platicaste, es de tu gusto la música virtuosa. Bueno, como ya has comentado en algunas entrevistas. Y en Obsidios no hay límites musicalmente, pero ¿por qué ir del tech al metal instrumental?
Well, I always had for me, there was always this classical and jazz background, because I've always had like jazz based or jazz trained teachers and classical teachers, so my background is completely different. But I always played in metal bands since I was very young, like since I was 12 years old. I started playing in metal bands. Especially in prog metal. Dream Theater was always, for example, a very huge influence for me, and this was like two things at the same time happening. So I was in school and at universities, and had teachers where I played classical and jazz music, and on the other hand, I had like metal bands, where I played whatever local contests and things like that. And since from the beginning, I've always had a passion for instrumental music, and I've had this idea of releasing solo material a very long time ago, and after the last Obsidious record, I decided to work on that a little more and start to put out all the ideas I had from like a long time ago already. So I want to start put out this kind of music as well I'm working on, and that doesn't mean that I'm not playing with bands anymore. It's just a side project I started, and actually there is a lot coming out, coming up with like bands, but we're probably gonna speak about that later. Because there's coming up new Obsidious material. Also, I'm involved into the new Darth record, which is also quite known in the death metal scene. So putting out the ideas from my solo stuff is just something I just started to do, and this will be a constant thing in my future career, definitely.
Y bueno, esta pregunta es más enfocada para los guitarristas y tus fans de Hueso Colorado. ¿De qué se compone tu year? Sé que tienes patrocinios muy importantes.
Obviously, I play since a very long time. I play Kiesel guitars. It's one of the greatest companies I've ever worked with, and they make fantastic guitars. All the guitars I play on, especially on Wishes and Dreams, is played on the Kiesel GH3 and on the Delos Headless. So these are the two different models I used for the recordings, and then I use the Neural DSP plugin, which is called Archetype Corey Wong. This is a very cool plugin I use for most of the clean sounds in general, and especially in this song, I used it for most of the lead sounds and clean sounds. There's just one sound where I use with the chorus in it. I use the Archetype Petrucci. It's also a Neural DSP plugin, but everything else is the Corey Wong plugin. And yeah, that's what I used for this production.
Con toda la trayectoria que tienes y de acuerdo a tu experiencia, ¿qué consideras que te falta por hacer?
Wow, that's a difficult question. There are so many things I'm excited about. I've already done so many things. I toured a long time with Obscura. We recorded stuff. We toured a lot, and now I do the same thing with Obsidious. Now we're working on a new album. So my dream was always to have like a band and song to like be together, songwrite, and be on tour, and all those things. But also at the same time, sharing my knowledge. That's what I also do a lot, is teaching. So I like to share my knowledge with all the people, and also in workshops. And what else I want to do is I just want to maybe expand it a little bit. I want to have time for the projects, and I want to share this. Also, I want to share a lot on my social media platforms too. So feel free to subscribe me there, wherever you want, Instagram, YouTube, wherever. I just try to like do constant um, releasing stuff on a regular basis and grew from there, and then we'll see where it leads.
Estás próximo a visitar México, no sé si tengas algún plan de estar por acá.
Well, obviously, I like to visit Mexico. I would love to visit it more often, but it's sometimes it's a little bit expensive also, and it depends on how much time I can get to see like all my family there, because that's it's sometimes it's kind of sad that they are so far away, and so hopefully I will have more time and resources in the future to like be there more often. I recently were there. I was there recently. Was there to visit my grandparents, and it was great again after all the time that happened with COVID. And I really enjoy the food as always. I love los tacos y enchiladas y esas cosas. Me gusta mucho. Entonces, well, that's what I like there a lot. The food is like better than anywhere else in the world, I guess.
Y bueno, Rafa, hemos llegado a la última etapa de esta charla. Ya más o menos nos dijiste de tus redes y todo eso, pero ¿cómo te pueden seguir? ¿Cuáles son las plataformas? ¿Dónde te pueden escuchar?
Well, you can follow me on Instagram. My name there is Rafael Trujillo Official. And then you can also subscribe me on YouTube. Always, you can also go to my website. There you can get all the information about where you find my music, where I find out about my projects I'm doing. And if you want to contact me directly, you can also just email me. It's contact@rafael-trujillo.com. Feel free to contact me whenever you have like questions or you want to have lessons or whatever. That's where to contact me.
Yo soy malísima con la guitarra, si no te pediría clases. Bueno, Rafa, agradezco mucho tu tiempo, gracias por tu participación, en verdad la valoro muchísimo.
Thanks very much for the invite. I'm really glad to be here.
Bueno, pues gracias a quienes llegaron al final de esta plática. Sería genial que comentes, des like y que lo roles con los fans de Rafael Trujillo. Ya sabes que también te dejo las ligas en la descripción del video. Por otro lado, apóyame suscribiéndote a mi canal, dale a la campanita de notificaciones para que puedas ver más contenido como este. También te puedes enterar de más datos y mucho más cotorreo siguiéndome en redes como @ceciondemetal en Facebook, Instagram, TikTok y Twitter. Rafa, fue un placer.
Gracias, sí, igualmente.
Nos vemos en la próxima cápsula, chao.
Así nos vemos. Bye bye.